Hundreds of developers took part in the very first Pass the Game Challenge Jam. This was a wild experiment where developers had to create a video game prototype, upload it to itch.io, and then anyone could pick up that project and continue work on it. This led us to an enormous amount of creative projects. As an example, let's look at Octalien. This began as an extremely simple game made by Falcon89. Then on day 2, two developers decided to expand on his work. Developer Sharp Dressed Bear added jellyfish to his version, while Cprotype made some UI changes. Now we have two different branches, both originating from the same base game. And of course, as you can see, it keeps going. On day 3, Dominic added crabs and some visual changes, while Shadow Week picked Cprotype's version, adding loads of new fish and expanding the map. It's on day 4 that one of the branches dies out. There are no new developers who pick Dominic's version. Instead, we see 5 different devs pick Shadow Week's prototype, expanding and changing it in various ways. At the end of the jam, so on day 6, we've got a whopping 6 unique versions of Octalien, each with their own unique quirks and set of developers. My favorite probably being Octalien to the Depths of the Dead for its atmosphere and color palette. There's a nice satisfying feel to picking upgrades and seeing your aquatic creature evolve and mutate. And of course, this is just one project out of hundreds. I'll leave a link to this awesome visualization made by Vicrey in the description. And a huge shout out to Ingvar for making this stylish graph. We can see a different visualization of the Octalien project. The brown circles are the games from day 1, then the purple circles from day 2, and so on. You'll see that many projects died out real early. All these lonely brown circles that simply weren't picked up by another dev on day 2. I actually took part in the jam, creating this mini family tree experiment. You can match characters and they'll have kids and stuff. On day 2, it was picked up by one new developer, Dino Knight, who added family events, such as the possibility of hosting a banquet or a wedding. But then no one took the game for a ride on day 3, and this is its humble representation amongst the sea of other projects. Back to games that did survive though, we have Space Game by Malik that started out extremely simply on day 1. You just control this little character who can float and fly around. After several iterations from developers, we end up with 2 unique versions. Away from Sun scores big by including space centipedes, and Space Boy's extremely simple game loop of dodging meteors and recharging your fuel in these floating pads is addictive and enjoyable. BeatHover is one of the most popular projects. It all began with this little prototype by Paris called Lonely Colors, where you catch falling orbs. It started to get that visual polish from day 4 with Pure Ab's contributions. And then on day 5, it was renamed to BeatHover by Thomas Bringer, and it really got that awesome feel along with the haunting music. On the final day, 6 developers picked it and created their own unique spin, making a short but beautiful rhythm game where you try and catch these dice with your colorful pattern. Some devs added extra music tracks, another made a cool combo system or an accuracy display. Definitely give it a play. Jeremy Boin began a project called Connected Planets. Interesting concept of joining planets together to complete levels. It then evolved over these 6 days, turning into 3 awesome final versions. My favorite probably being Cosmic Chords with its challenging puzzles and very polished story pop-ups and tutorial. I love creating connections between planets and seeing them bounce around the galaxy. Rogue Taxi is pure chaos and fun physics, where you evade police while demolishing an entire city with your tiny car. There's also cool dynamic changes in camera angle, which give the game an interesting action feel. It started out as a prototype called Bus Chase City by Terrific 3D, and we can see he had already imagined these speed pads and chaotic driving. Another awesome car game made during the jam began as a prototype called Drifty Car by Shadow Week. It would then evolve into 4 unique versions on day 2. For example, one dev gave it a horror atmosphere, while another drastically improved visuals, effects, and sounds, making this fantastic looking version. Now, although the horror variation branch of Drifty Car survived up until day 5, it sadly died out, never reaching day 6. The only final version is Drift King Online, a multiplayer racing game with an incredible feel. So the positive here is that I'm gonna crush my brother. Look, he's not even started.
This is a lot closer than last time so far. Oh shoot, I crashed.
Oh yeah, it's safe. Oh wow, it's so bad, man. Where's Liam?
Right behind me.
Seriously, he's never played this game. He's never played it.
He's a natural. I tried to blow Liam up and I just ended up killing myself. Nice.
Oh, yes, I finished. Okay. Why am I celebrating? Spaceflight by Ghostwave started looking like this on day 1 and evolved into loads of branches, which you can check out if you want, but ultimately the final and favourite version is a non-stop Rocketeering, a crunchy and well-polished space shooter. 101H20 built the To The Sky prototype. It became this monstrously fun rage game where you keep falling down, trying to correctly angle your character and jump to reach the top. Made me think of the Froggy project, but in 2D. We're about to reveal our favourite project from the jam, each creator earning a free copy of our course, Game Dev Rockets. This course teaches you how to go from an absolute beginner to a game dev pro who can code, design worlds, create game arts, and actually launch projects on Steam and earn money from them. The course is opening up again on the 12th of September with a major new update, Multiplayer Mastery, where we've collaborated with the creator of the hit title Paint Warfare to make an in-depth course on multiplayer game development. While you're waiting though, if you're eager to create something, we have a free training on how to make a stylish 2D platformer game. The link is in the description. So before we reveal the winner of the jam, here's some honorable mentions. Sheep Herder, where you play as a dog that must move around sheep in such a way that they get back into their pens. Whack a Keyboard, where you must click as fast as you can on the correct key on your keyboard whenever you see a mole pop up. Ballistic Beans seems to have quite a bit of potential and a lot of humor, throwing around a mad bean to get to the top, but it died out on day 4 sadly. Roy has great atmosphere and sound effects. You collect coins underwater and try not to drown. I really quite like Uninvited Guests, which made it all the way to day 6, one dev picking it up at a time. You collect ghosts, possess trees, and destroy humans, all the while upgrading your protagonists. It's simple and effective. With that said, let's now get to our favourite project from the jam. Drum rolls please. It's Rural Blackout, an extremely well polished and atmospheric horror game. You try and keep a serial killer at bay by checking out your camera and switching on lights to scare him off. Rugbug and Dubsker built the initial prototype, which felt practically complete. Subsequent devs expanded on this, with our favourite addition being a spooky TV intro.
As we have a chilling story unfolding in a rural community down south, as it appears that Silas Blackthorn, the notorious serial killer, who was due to be killed on death row later this week, has escaped from prison.
We even have a branch that turns the project into a multiplayer experience. Creeping through that old house with those grainy retro graphics was quite the feel, and hearing someone else's footsteps could send a sharp chill down your back. Time spent recharging your generator means time spent away from the cameras, which means you're more vulnerable to an unexpected break-in and attack.
Oh, quick, get the light, get the light. Oh, he's gone, he's gone.
Terrifying. And when he breaks in, it's over, right? There's nothing we can do.
We can run.
Oh, there he is, look.
Oh.
Quick.
Where? Oh, you got him. You got him. Just gonna board up these windows over here.
Yeah, go ahead. I'm almost full of the generator. Oh, good. Oh! Oh! I died.
Where is he?
Pretty big room. It's actually pretty big, this place.
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh, he broke in. How?
Oh.
We lose? Oh, he's...
I'll leave a link in the description to all the projects. It's very interesting to study how some games mutated and changed throughout the 6 days. And you can also have fun looking for some hidden gems that didn't make it past the first few days. Perhaps there's an amazing idea just waiting to be picked up and expanded on. I certainly feel like my family tree experiment has got lots of potential, not to mention the Centipede Slayer FPS, or this weird cat herder experiment. Loads of things to explore and get inspired from. Thanks to all devs for taking part in this experiment. Make sure to like the video and subscribe for many massive game dev collaborations. And remember that if you also want to learn how to make video games like all of these incredible developers, then check out the Game Dev Rockets. The course is opening up again on the 12th of September with a massive new update. Seats are extremely limited and sell out fast, so if you're really motivated, be ready on the 12th at 2 PM Central European Time.